What is going on, y'all? Robert Sykes, KetoSavage.com, coming back at you with another AMA Ask Me Anything. This one is all about how to measure macros for cooked weight or raw weight. But before we dive into that, let's roll the intro. All right, so this question is brought to us by Goran, and he asks, when calculating your daily macros for meat, do you count cooked weight or raw weight? I probably answered this question at some point in the past because I get this question a lot, but because I get this question a lot, I'll go ahead and answer it again. So I typically weigh mine in its raw state versus its cooked state. When you're looking at the macronutrient profile for a given set of meat, it oftentimes discloses whether that is based off of raw weight or a cooked weight. If you're getting something that's like a pre-cooked package, it's obviously going to be based off of the cooked weight because it's pre-packaged in a cooked format. But when you're just going to the meat market, picking up your steaks or ground beef, I always try and measure it with the raw weight. The main thing is to be consistent in how you measure that each and every time. Now, a couple things to take note of. When you cook, depending on how you cook, like if you go to the meat market, you grab some 80-20 ground beef, and the macros that you look up on the USDA database, for instance, show that in its raw form, and then you put that burger patty on a skillet, or not a skillet, but on a grill, and you cook it over an open flame, you're going to lose a lot of that fat macros to the drippings that are going to be consumed by the flames and not by you. So you want to be mindful of that. That's why when I'm really getting things dialed in and I'm tracking everything to a T for a competition prep or a fat loss phase, I don't really ever cook over an open flame on the grill unless I'm cooking something incredibly lean like a venison or elk, because there's not going to be that much fat that drips out. If I'm doing a fatty type of meat that is going to have quite a bit of drippings, I'll always cook that in a cast iron skillet, and then I'll be sure to consume all of those drippings that remain once I cook it. A good way to do that is to simply cook your meat in a skillet and then use any remaining grease drippings to like fry up some scrambled eggs or something like that. That way you're consuming all the macros that you're counting for. You mainly just want to be consistent with how you're tracking them, but when you track them, make sure you are consuming all that you track. If you look up the macros for a grilled burger, it may take into account the fat that has dripped down and is no longer being consumed, but I typically like to control for as many variables as I personally can, so I'll measure and base my macros off of the raw weight, and then I'll make sure that I consume everything that was there when I weighed it, i.e. using the cast iron skillet. So hopefully that answers your question. Pretty simple response, but hopefully that sheds some light on the topic. Thank you for the question, Goran. You requested some chocolate peanut butter cup bricks, so I've got some of those headed your way. For anybody that doesn't know how these AMA videos work, if you submit me a well-thought-out question via the link in the description below, and I use your question on an AMA, I'm going to send you some free keto bricks with the flavor of your choosing. Thank you all so very much. Talk to you next time.